All right, I've looked back for the episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. If you've not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Again, take advantage of that flash sale. First month off, 60% off of active trader. Had members making 35K, 40K in the trading room today on 2 trades. And personally, I'm taking the rest of the month off. I will still be running the trading room. But I'm personally going to be taking the rest of the month off. AMC, what a monster here. So shorting at the open at 1240, taking over 13% on that. And then we played the long side here at 6 and selling around 7 here today. So absolute monster trades here. Overall, about 20% gains in really a few minutes, honestly. So that's one of those where I'm just going to shut it down for the rest of the month for me personally. But if you're interested in the trading room, you could have taken advantage of that flash sale yesterday, and you could put your feet up for the rest of the month like many of us are going to do. But I'll be there taking trades. Calling out levels. Not personally, I won't be taking any trades. I got to take some time off here after that. But in any case, take advantage of that flash sale. It's site wide. Details are on Twitter. Pinned post is there. So, anyways, markets today here, getting a pretty good bid. We had PPI this morning, and it came in hotter than expected. The dip was bought. This would have been another trade too. I had a level at 52.15. It didn't get there. Got right ahead of that, and the dip was bought there. Expected that. I didn't expect us to rally as hard as we did here today. But you have a Fed chair that was quite literally pumping stocks. Meanwhile, GME and AMC are ripping higher. By the way, I told you guys yesterday, SNDL, Tilray, watch those, and those had good pops on the open as well. Tilray calls printing nicely with members as well in the swing trading service. So again, been pretty good here lately. Been very good for trading, at least as meme craze. Spiders not so much. Outside of today, we had a pretty good outside of this little outside move here. But last couple of days, we've been pinned hard to 52.25, and now we're starting to finally break above that. I said 52.50 on Twitter. It was the next up, and that's where we are right now. We'll close right there. Yeah, I imagine maybe like a point or two below it. About 3 minutes left in the day. What's going on? The Fed chair, Powell, was speaking today. And I mean, when I say he was pumping stocks, I mean, he was literally pumping stocks. Basically, he dismissed PPI, said it's kind of mixed, even though that's not true at all. It was definitely hotter than expected. And he also was saying that rate hikes are not likely. He was basically as dovish as you could possibly be. So, again, we got a Fed chair that's just pumping stocks in the face of meme stocks running. My guess is that CPI is going to come in cooler, and the market likely knows that. I mean, look at the price action here. By the way, look at bonds. Not only was the dip bought, it's not like it's just a dip was bought and then we went back to flat. The dip was bought, and they started to really push higher here. As you can see, the ZN, nice bull pattern here, and that seems to be setting up. So markets look pretty good. We'll probably hit all-time highs tomorrow. Unless CPI comes in unexpected. The only thing I could see here for bears in the short term is that everybody's unhedged now. It looks like it anyway. Everybody's unhedged to the downside here, and if it surprises, if CPI surprises the downside, then you could get that. You could get a sell, but even that dip would likely be bought, I would imagine, until Friday. I think that's where we could see more weakness here. But right now, it looks like market wants all-time high. I mean, it's so close here. Market wants all-time highs and possibly 5,300. So maybe that's where they close us on Friday. But again, markets are acting well here, and there's pretty good relative strength across the board. I've talked about the weakness in semis and not so much weakness, but laggardship, and that seems to be dissipating a little bit. SMH up 1 3/4. But again, I've also mentioned banks, the relative strength in banks, and that's also very important to see here. And you're seeing KBE threaten a breakout here. So, I mean, this because, if bonds really print, that could help out the KBE to get going towards a 50-52 handle. So I've been talking about that pattern every day for months now, and it's still good. So that may be getting ready to break out here. But right now, I don't really see outside of a miss tomorrow. I don't really see how bears are going to do anything, at least until Friday. But in any case, market's holding up. Triple Qs here, not that far off all-time highs. I think the composite got really close if it's not there already. 16.538. And the high here is, yeah, so we got very close. Maybe they'll pump it in the last, couple seconds here. But yeah, either way, we're right there, right? So let's not make let's not get too crazy with it. IWM up 1.13. Again, that's being helped out that's being skewed, I should say, by GameStop and AMC. We even saw Tupperware continue to bid today. There was a couple others, those, I think BYND joined the party a little bit, and that actually went red. You know what bugs me, though, is that they keep talking about like all these short sellers that are losing money. And, it's like they just create this FOMO. Trust me, this move is not going to last. In fact, it may even topped out already. I don't think it's going to last more than 3 days, or at the very least, by Friday, this will be over with. That's why I picked up the short on AMC this morning. I knew a bunch of monkeys were going to close out their calls first thing in the morning. This was a very easy trade for me, and it paid very quickly and very nicely. But secondly, they don't. There's nothing has changed business model wise, right? So it's just a gamma squeeze. Once those options roll off, there's the closing bell, by the way. Once those options roll off, it's going to come right back down. And doesn't look like we got that closing high in the composite there. But what bugs me is that they, the short sellers lost $2 billion in mark-to-market losses, but they don't tell you how much people lost by buying calls at 65 on GME or calls at $12 on AMC. They're just kind of like contributing to FOMO here, and I just think it's disingenuous, honestly. There's two sides of the trade, and everybody blaming, they're halting it. They're ruining it. Guys, when a stock is up 100% a day, it gets halted. It doesn't matter if it's GameStop, doesn't matter if it's AMC, doesn't matter if it's your favorite retail stock. It's just how it works. And if you think that it's like they act like every hedge fund is short this stock, we're screwing the hedge funds. No, the hedge funds are the ones pumping it. It's like, you think they're not making money here? I mean, so I don't know. I do this professionally. I think I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. But I just don't find it very. I don't find it's disingenuous, and that basically these media outlets are assisting, retail or trying to get retail to buy into the highs here because it's a game, So anyway, the Russell up here, up 1% on the day. Next level is 210. Let's just keep it at that right now. The diamond here is holding up all right, up $1.12. If this goes sideways a little bit more, I think it goes to 400. Well, we might just pump on CPI though. But you have the double top there and then the 400. Whole round number. So again, let's just keep that simple there. SMH here up 1.7. Again, still a little resistance up here around 230, right in this zone. In fact, I think there's so the 223 target got hit last week, which I talked about for a while. Yeah, 230. There's your 786, right in that area, 230, 231. Then you have the ultimate high there. Now this is going to get influenced by Nvidia next week. What's going to happen with Nvidia? I'm not sure. What's going to come down to margins and how fast are they shrinking? They are going to shrink if they're not already. And you have a decent pattern here on Nvidia. My issue is that the monthly is still parabolic. You can look at this all you want and say, oh, it's bull flagging. Yeah, but on the monthly, which is a more dominant time frame, it's going to have to do a lot of that to really like grow into this move. So I don't know how much higher it can realistically go here. You got to remember, it's $2.3 trillion market cap. So, how much higher can it even go, like from a demand point of things here? But either way, that'll get influenced next week. IGV was noticeably strong today. Even with the gap down, it rallied right on the open. So maybe trying to change the tide a little bit. Still didn't close above that pivot high from last week. So it's still a little bit of a laggard. You do have a nice bullish inside bar here on the daily, but it's inside of the red, the weekly red, right? So that would be to me, that's probably your max move is right around 83 for right now, maybe 84, right? There's a trend line right in here. So we could get up into that area, but there should be some resistance up there. Dow Transport's here, gap and crap. So this is a week, right? So we talked about the 618. I still don't like it, right? Tail candle yesterday, and for all intents and purposes, an engulfing reversal today. I mean, basically, right? Didn't gap above the highs, but you traded above the highs and then reversed and closed below yesterday's low and actually wiped out some of yesterday's gains too. So or I should say Friday's gains. So I still don't love the transports here. I think they're just a weak sector, and yeah, I don't like the weekly either. If the market pumps, and I'm not saying this can't pump too, but this is not a sector I'd want to be in. So, all right, rates here today. So again, backing off again, bond market seems to be calling BS on the inflation number right now. Maybe that's why Jay Powell feels justified in being so dovish. I talked about that a few weeks ago, how I said before NFP, he's going to know what the number is on the FOMC. And he was dovish, right? He kind of dismissed, he kind of dismissed hawkishness, and that gave us insight to what NFP was going to look like. And that seems to be correct. So he probably knows CPI is going to be a little soft tomorrow. And I think that's what the market's sniffing out right now, right? If it wasn't leaked, I mean, that's what the market seems to be looking at, right? I mean, right, look at this, right? That's clearly the market's, it's juiced up and giddy right now. And bond market seems to agree right now, though we're still well above support on the 2-year. It's the long end of the curve that's a little bit weaker, pattern-wise. That said, the yield curves are still not reflective of any sort of unwind yet. So just be aware of that too. I don't think this is going to be easy or simple. It's going to be complicated how this all shakes out as far as the bond market is concerned. XHB holding up here. You do have a mini inside bar, so that's holding up again. 110 is the next level on that, and then all-time high. This upsloping channel here, the more we kind of just grind through it, the less kind of bearish it gets. We're already above that red too, so just be aware of that there. But you're in the channel now. The NQ getting through 83 finally. It had to grind through it. Still have a pretty wide gap up here, and you're below that 100 MA, but it's definitely in better shape now. Still kind of coming into some resistance here. Let me just take a look at the. Let me see if there's a fib. Yeah, right into the 50% fib right now, and that's where it backed off. I still don't like this sector either. Again, doesn't mean it won't pump or bid if the market does, but a little bit on the softer side. XLF holding up, and again, this continues to be a market leader, up 21 cents. Really nothing wrong with it outside of, I think the monthly is still a little stretched. I think it needs to do more consolidating, but it's acting well. KBE is acting well. KRE is acting well. So no problems there. Broker dealers, new all-time high, new all-time closing high. Again, this is still stretched on the monthly too, but everything else looks okay. Oil here backing off a little bit. So now this is starting to look more like a bear flag. So bulls have got some work to do if they want to get it up to 81. But the longer this base is sideways, the less I like it, and the more I like it down to probably about 74. I think it might be maybe a little bit lower. I had some numbers. I'll have to redo them, but I'd just say low 70s area for now. Probably holds up until OPEX. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe CPI moves it tomorrow. We'll see, but definitely a little bit weaker of a pattern there. XLE was really choppy today too. This was definitely a laggard. So look at the action here. It did float up with everything else by the end of the day, but looking at the spiders, it barely went red at all. Whereas the XLE was red. It spent almost the whole day red. And it finished up just 12 cents. Again, could we have an outside move here up to 96? Break this pattern? It's possible, yeah. Certainly possible, but definitely a laggard sector. XOP's lagging as well. And OIH is in much better shape, though. I like this. If this could just hold up here sideways, I think this could actually get a pretty good bid. And again, like I said yesterday, high, basically it's a slight lower high, it's technically. But look at how close it is to this previous high versus the XOP and the XLE. So oil service is in way better shape. So I think if we get a bid, this would be the one that you'd rather own. But even so, I'd say 340 is still going to be good resistance, even if it starts to push up. CCJ having a little bit of a bounce back today, up $1. Again, that's still doing what it needs to on the weekly. I think it's fine. And the same thing with the NM and NJ. Nat gas here, again, I don't have my perfect chart yet, but I can use the N contract. Stalling out at 240. I wouldn't short it here. This is resistance. I just wouldn't short it going into the month of June. It's just not I'm not saying it can't work, but it's usually kind of a month where it tends to squeeze up as you get that peak summer buying demand. I wouldn't chase it here either, but so I'm just kind of neutral on the chart. All right, dollar index, that came in pretty good today. So lower highs now on the DXY. It could still come down to 104.50 and be okay. In fact, it could come all the way down to 104, 103.88. As long as it closes above that on a weekly, it's still fine. But definitely a weaker sign today, and it did back off here. So right now, 104.50 and 104 are your levels. If it breaks back above 105.50, then it can firm up. Gold holding up well. So gold up 82 basis points here today. So nothing terrible there for the price of gold. I still think there's a lot of resistance up here. We'll see what CPI does. Maybe that moves it. And silver, same thing. By the way, this is Powell being super dovish too. If we're going to talk about silver, look at platinum today and then look at copper. Copper almost just came this close to hitting new all-time highs. And we have a Fed chair that's basically out there pumping stocks right now. It's just absolutely insane. Yeah, silver up 38 cents. Pattern's okay. If it can just consolidate, I think it can go higher. Otherwise, it might need to pull back again. But platinum finally got that higher high. I've been talking about that for a while. That's good. It's not 52-week highs. You still got to get above this. Still got a ways to go, really. But 6-month highs, essentially. And that looks in much better shape. You guys know I've been on this train for a long time. Higher lows. This is about ready to go. Again, doesn't mean it can't consolidate and so on, but I think it's looking good. And the palladium, this is my favorite catch-up play. It hasn't moved yet, so there's time to get in. I like it down here. And then copper, I mentioned a minute ago. What can you say, right? Like, we talked about this level. I kind of shaded it, did a little shaded in area, like right here. I said, well, this is resistance, but it's squeezing up. It's a commodity, so you can see these things kind of overshoot. It basically hit all-time highs. It probably will make all-time highs tomorrow, especially if CPI comes in soft. That brings some more dovish Fed. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, though. If CPI comes in soft, do commodities start to come in? And then how do they respond? Do they respond in anticipation of Fed policy, which would be more inflationary? Do they respond as in, like, now the market's worried about a slowdown? We'll see. But copper good, palladium good, all that stuff. Industrial metals acting well, and the Fed chair doesn't care. Neither does Yellen, but she never has, until she's concerned about banks, and then you just buy. But anyway, Bitcoin here hanging in there. Bitcoin surprisingly doesn't care today. Just a little inside red day, nothing terrible. Maybe, and I think I talked about this last week. Some people on Twitter. Bitcoin's almost better at price discovery. In fact, it is better at price discovery than the S&P. The reason why I wanted to buy the dip this morning in the ES is because I knew the flows were positive. Why? Because OPEX this week. Yes, Bitcoin has options, but it's not. There's crypto traders I know that have no clue about options. And they're like all in on crypto. They don't care about options at all. The market for options and equities just dwarfs that of Bitcoin. And I don't think that there's as much bastardization as far as like pinning effects going on and charm effects and Vanna. I think Bitcoin is a little bit more balanced here as far as price discovery, which I find refreshing. But right now it's down a little bit today. Nothing terrible here. Needs to make a higher high to kind of fix up this daily chart and confirm a higher low. Otherwise, it's still vulnerable down to 52, and I think everybody knows that by now. But again, big picture, nothing's changed on the weekly. Still really strong. Starts to take this low out, then it gets a little bit weaker. But still holding up, though. All right, again, market state, so just below 52.50. So we knew that was likely. Composite didn't quite make a new all-time high. It's not going to be that far away. Now, the futures have a ways to go. We made it they have about 30 more points on the futures to get to all-time highs on the ES. 30 more points than the SPX, not 30 points from here. It's actually about, 40, 33, 40, 70 points or so from here on the ES. For the NQ, it's, you know, whatever it is, 18.7 to 18.4, so 300. So the after hours highs are closer or are farther away than the cash session. It doesn't really matter. Again, we'll see what we get tomorrow. I think it's likely we'll make all-time highs, but you know, the only other side of that is, does CPI end up missing? I don't think it does. I don't think the bond market would have acted like this today. But if it does, yeah, you're in a market here that's not hedged at all, and that could be problematic, especially with the VIX going red today. So just something to keep an eye on there. But strength until Friday, and then that's kind of the base case here. Until proven otherwise. So anyways, guys, getting wrapped up here. Again, take advantage of that flash sale. It was a really good opportunity today. It's not going to be like that tomorrow, but in any case, you guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.